Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are back here. We are now at top 8. That means only 8 players are remaining right now for this cut, and we have quite a few interesting ones. One personal friend of mine, Lennert from Overloop, being able to bring it all the way back into top 8. He's off against Nick Holmer, who we have seen recently. But let's take a look at Lennert's team. He has Armor Rouge, Indeedee, Urshifu, Rapid Strike, Fluttermane, Tornadus, and Ursaluna. Quite a mix of the speedy offense plus the trick room option there, which is quite interesting because with the psychic terrain, you can set it up there. You can just make sure that Expanding Force gets more powerful with the helping hand as well. Fluttermane, just powerful Pokemon that you have to have on your team. Every time and time again, it proves itself very strong, as Urshifu is one of those Pokemon that is quite strong as well. Right. And as well, we have the Ursaluna, who works quite well in the Trick Room mode as well. And those Pokemon can actually work as well against balance teams versus when they decide to go for that Tailwind option. Now, looking at Nick's team, Nick has of course, the Tornadus, the Urshifu, Maushold, Landorus, Fluttermane, Heatran. We have seen this Heatran already with the Assault Vest, which is actually might be an issue there for Lennert, of course, because it is Assault Vest and Terra Grass to boot as well. Meaning any sort of Fire-type moves or Psychic moves from the Armor Rouge not doing anything to Heatran. When it Terras, the Urshifu is unable to hit it quite hard with its Water type moves. And that means you don't have that many options, so you have to dance around this Heatran just a little bit. On the other hand, that's really one thing to deal with, as Maushold is able to potentially follow me as well. And we do have the option of Tornadus being able to Rain Dance, making sure that any Heat Wave from this Armor Rouge does less damage as well. But then, again, boosting the Urshifu. So Lennert will have to wiggle himself out of here, seeing what he will do as the options here, as both these players are quite raring to go as well. Tornadus with the Cover Cloak as well right now, as we see, so no potential fake out, but any sort of secondary effects, meaning if you go up against other Tornadus as well, where you have Bleak Wind Storm from Nick's side, which will not drop its stats at all for Tornadus, which can provide to be useful, especially when both of these Tornaduses have Taunt as well. So depending on who's faster as well, we'll see who gets to move first here. Now, only 9 seconds on the clock, so quickly having to decide here the team. And let's get to it. It is top 8 time, and both these players are ready to go. Top 8. Yep. As now, Lenny versus Nick. Now, so for Grandma in the back, as Nick sends out Fluttermane and Heatran. 2 good Pokemon to start off with, as Tornadus, Urshifu. So the classic lead of Torn Urshifu is just able to potentially just go for the Tailwind plus Surging Strikes. You already know that the Heatran is able to go for the Terra Grass, but like, what is the other switch in really for this Surging Strikes? You have your own Urshifu, for example, but this Fluttermane slot is not really going to be enjoying that. But then again, if we're looking further into the game, the Heatran, of course, going for the Terra Grass means it gets weaker to Bleak Wind Storm as well. So really, Lennert has to kind of decide what to do here. You do have the option to scout out what the option is that Nick wants to go for. Really, as a free Bleak Wind Storm plus Protect does rather fine. As Fluttermane is switching out, it's gonna be most likely that Urshifu, I feel. It is actually the Landorus with Intimidate, making sure that any sort of close combat from his Urshifu is not going to be able to KO this Heatran either, as now the Terra does activate again. This Nick Holmer going for the Terra on his Heatran. Terra Grass commitment, meaning this Bleak Wind Storm will hit just a bit harder. Terra Blast will absolutely demolish this Urshifu, of course, but this Urshifu did protect here, meaning it is safe for one more turn. And now we do see the Bleak Wind Storm being super effective onto the Heatran, doing quite a bit of damage, as we see about 80% there. Terra Blast going into that slot. Nice and well protected there. as now Landorus with the Choice Scarf is a nice option to have, but now Lennert has to really dodge and weave to see what he will do here. You do have the option of just Bleak Wind Storming again and Surging Striking, as the Landorus is Choice Scarf can most likely only go for a... just an odd Bleak Wind Storm into the Heatran and the Landorus. Landorus is no Scarf. Landorus is Clear Amulet, my bad. As now the Surging Strikes will be enough to KO this Heatran as well. So the biggest hurdle for Lennert being able to deal with it that easily right now as well. So quite well done there, and still no Tailwinds being set up, so meaning this Tornado still has the option to go for it yet again. Stomping Tantrum from the Landorus into this Urshifu, not gonna be able to damage it all that much. And now, yeah, now Nick really has to, a bit of a back foot, has to decide what to do in this kind of situation as the Urshifu is coming in. Now Lennert does have the option to just Bleak Wind Storm again, since there's no Terra be used, and Tornadoes is the fastest thing onto the field as well, as Urshifu is just able to potentially switch out with the Indeedee for that Rocky Helmet damage as well. This is not a bad call at all there. The Torn Urshifu showcasing that even if you don't put up Tailwind, it is such a strong lead because they cover each other so well. If you go for a Grass type, the Bleak Wind Storm hits there. So it's one of those things where you have to carefully adapt to what the options are here, as Lennert is deciding to switch out to the Indeedee right now, with the Psychic Terrain activating as well. Psychic Surge, no more priority moves will be able to be used onto grounded opponents, as Lennert is just going for the Protect here with the Clear Amulet, making sure that it stays safe for yet another turn. Tornado is going for Bleak Wind Storm. Let's see if it does manage to connect onto the Urshifu. It does manage to, and that is not a KO. It's not single target. This Urshifu is still hanging on over the close combat into the Indeedee, but the Indeedee is carrying the helmet, the safety helmet. It is rocky. It is hard. It hits hard. Is it enough? And it is enough. An excellent switch there by Lennert, which, having just been able to capitalize on the sheer offense of this team right now, and now free to go for a Tailwind and just make sure that his Urshifu is able to outspeed anything that's in front of it as well. Indeed, not really able to hit all that hard right now, but yeah, Tailwind plus Dazzle Gleam seems absolutely fine. Follow me for the potential non-spread, as we do know Landorus has to doesn't have to lock himself, but Flood Main does have to lock itself, and it will be moving before this Landorus. So potentially, well, I would assume the Flood Main would go for a Dazzle Gleam, in all honesty. Want that damage. Urshifu is already chipped. Don't know what's back. That's the issue. That's, of course, the issue that Lennert has played well around, where he has still another Pokemon as an option. You see the Indeedee, so you're most likely to think Armor Roost as well. And he is going for the Tailwind. Just 2 support moves being used right now immediately. The Flame is going at Boom Blast into the Indeedee. Indeedee will go down, and now Landorus is free to move. He's free to stop the Tantrum, but not really affect this Tornadoes right now. So well read by Lennert here, being able to switch in now Urshifu. Urshifu in the Tailwind. The 2 Pokemon are quite low. Landorus not able to KO it here. You're even able to Rain Dance and just Surge Strikes to make sure that this Flood Main does go. So Nick is already thinking of what can he do next game to really adapt here, because Lennert has played tremendously well, just knowing to scout, when to scout, because that's the scary thing with Urshifu. You can't really protect, you can't play that safe because it goes through protect. So that Heatran had to go for the Terra almost immediately, while the Urshifu was able to just use the fact that it doesn't need to be affected. Stomping Tantrum will now KO this Urshifu, of course, because it is weakened. The previous Stomping Tantrum failed, which means now the power got doubled. Armouche comes into the field, and with the Tailwind up, I believe it is faster than the Landorus. Also, powerful expanding force, making sure that this Landorus is done well. So Nick now has a lot of information what Lennert might be bringing here as well. So trying to see what he can do to adapt here. Lennert, of course, having those 2 options. With Tornadoes Urshifu, it's just so strong. It is a strong option, and having the potential to switch in your Indeedee as well for the opposing Urshifu, for example, or even making sure that you have a Trick Room option or any sort of priority moves with Fake Out. So you're just making sure that you are able to get the game plan going that you want to. Truly one of Belgium's finest. He's a good Stella Artois. Right. So, Nick, already considering what the options are here, you do. One of the nice things that Nick has is Encore with the mouse hold. Now that is one thing that you have to consider. If, for example, Urshifu Tornadus leads, Nick leads with Tornadus plus, let's say, Flutter Mane, switches out the Flutter Mane, for example, or the Heatran. So Lennert has to scout for a Terra Grass again, meaning you can switch, potentially switching your mouse hold and then Encore the Urshifu when it protected in that turn, which is a very, very rough call to me, but it is a very possible call. It's something that players have done before. So let's take a look at the adaptations from both these players. Has Lenny changed his game plan, or has he stuck to what he knows best? Tornadus and Flutter Mane from Nick his side, while Tornadus and Urshifu from Lennert's side as well. So we already know this Choice Specs Flutter Mane. Choice Specs Flutter Mane Terra Fairy is quite terrifying, as Tornadus does have the options here to potentially just go for some damage, because why not? You can just go for Aqua Jet, for example, as we see here onto the field. Aqua Jet with Terra Water in the rain with Mystic Water could potentially do a lot of damage to this Flutter Mane, because Flutter Mane is strong. It is not the most defensive capable Pokemon. And we do have that Terra activation. A beautiful water fountain onto this Urshifu, as this Urshifu gets ready to go for its priority move as well. So we have Taunt from Tornadus, from Nick actually going faster right now than Lennert. So Tornadus not able to put up the rain dance, meaning this Urshifu is without rain, but this Aqua Jet will still be able to deal quite a bit of damage to this Flutter Mane. Doing rightfully half, as the Moonblast coming out into the Urshifu will be able to KO there. Wow, this is a very offensive Flutter Mane there. Urshifu not being able to hang on. Flutter Mane seemingly quite strong. Maybe not really invested in speed, but like more into that special attack and HP, because that Aqua Jet still surviving it quite well there, as the Arm Rouge and indeed are in. The possibilities really are dwindling right now, as the Flutter Mane is locked into Moonblast. You do have the Arm Rouge being able to go for a potential Trick Room, as the Tornadus is, but the opposing team Tornadus is able to go for the Taunt, but and again, Indeedee being able to put up Psychic Terrain, making sure that no priority Taunt can go into it. Indeedee switching in, Indeed. That's a lot, Indeed, as the battlefield gets weird with the Psychic Surge. Tornadus just going for the Bleak Wind Storm, but Indeedee avoiding, Arm Rouge still getting hit, doing quite a bit of damage. Moonblast can still hurt as well. Moonblast into this Indeedee slot. Indeedee still hanging on, as the Trick Room has been set up, meaning right now Helping Hand Expanding Force is on the field right now. Or potential Dazzling Gleam if you are a Focus Sash Pokemon, as we do see that the Tornadus is actually Focus Sash as well. So Dazzling Gleam, yep, just to break that. Potential Focus Sash. Flutter Mane will not be able to survive this Expanding Force. It is quite special defensive, but not that special defensive. With Trick Room up, this Arm Rouge Indeedee might actually close out the game, as the next two Pokemon of Nick will have to switch in right now. So the potential of Heatran is actually still there. Heatran does have the option. If Heatran is there, this is looking rather dire. It is Urshifu. That's one Pokemon we don't mind seeing. And it is Heatran, unfortunately. So Expanding Force not really able to hit all that hard. But yeah. And both these Pokemon being already a bit lower as well. Not really the best of options that you have here. Heatran is able to go, for example, for a Earth Power into that Arm Rouge, being able to KO that at any given time. Indeedee potentially has to follow me, but will get KO'd as well in that regard. Heatran just being able to really mess the game plan up from this Arm Rouge Indeedee. Assault Fest Heatran really showcasing what it's made of right now. Last game, when it went for the Terra Grass, not really being able to showcase anything, but now this is looking quite nice. Now the expanding force is going to help. Indeed, going for the helping hand. Let's see if this Heatran might have gone just for the Earth Power or not. We do see the protect from the Urshifu this time around, so let's see how much this damage this does to this Heatran as well. Expanding force, life or boost, psychic terrain, helping hand into a Heatran that has a Soul Fest and is resistant. It is still 30%. You know, honestly, that's respectable. That is very respectable. Flash Cannon, actually no helping hand, no follow me needed, because indeed, exactly according to plan, being able to chip at least this Heatran already. Tornadoes being able to be switched in as well. So now we are being put in a weird position where we have to keep chipping this Heatran. Heatran is not able to really, well, it can go for Earth Power onto the Armouche next turn. Urshifu is most likely gonna get KO'd. If I recall correctly, wait, actually Nick hasn't Terra'd yet, so still has that Terra option as well on the potential Urshifu being able to maybe survive the Psychic's, well, expanding force there. But that's a lot to ask from it. It's still an Urshifu, and I don't know if it's able to survive a life or boosted expanding force. As we do have that Terra, so we'll put that theory to the test. It is Urshifu going for that Terra Water right now, making sure that it is now not super effectively hit by this expanding force. Terra Water boosted, beautiful fountain on its head. Water time is Rain Dance from Lennert time, making sure that no heat waves will do all that much damage. As expanding force is coming out into both of these Pokemon, and the Urshifu does go down. Heatran taking a lot of damage as well. So now it's a little bit awkward position. Now Earth Power into Armouche, most likely. And making sure that this Armouche does go down. So it's only this Soul Tornado. And putting up the Drain Dance might have been the correct play there, because of course Bleak Windstorm is now 100% accurate. And it's single target, while the Heatran only has Flash Cannon to hit. There's 2 more turns of Trick Room. I mean, this Flash Cannon will be last where the Heatran moves first. Ooh, critical hit there. As the Bleak Windstorm does go into Heatran. But it's looking like it will just barely miss out on the KO. His speed fell there, Twisted Dimensions returned to normal. So, well, maybe if Lennert gets the crit that Heatran just got with the Flash Cannon, definitely has the possibility here to get the KO. Bleak Windstorm, let's take a look. Not enough. This Heatran still hanging on just by a sliver of health, but with the next Flash Cannon, it will finish out again. That means it's 1-2-1. Well adapted by Nick. Lennert still playing quite well there, even though losing its Urshifu turn 1 immediately there. Being able to adapt the Armouche, indeed just showcasing why it's so strong. It's just such a good combination of Pokemon to have with their typing, and both of course being able to really enjoy a Psychic Terrain and Follow Me options. Helping Hand, Trick Room is just a great option. So now Lennert has to think about adaptation, because we already have seen now Flood Main as well. Choice Specs Moonblast being able to kill the Urshifu despite it going for Terra Water as well. So now Lenny has to decide from some other options to go for. Potentially maybe switching out his Urshifu for example for the Armouche, which is able to resist any type of Fairy type moves. But indeed the Armouche was working quite nice for Lennert, I feel. Ursaluna in the back, just making sure that this oh, that's actually not back up. Ursaluna might be the time to just wallop and do a lot of damage as well, because Ursaluna of course is a ground typing, is able to hit this Heatran quite hard. Facade boosted, Facade Guts boosted is a nuke as well, meaning this will hit hard no matter what Pokemon is in front of you. Of course, you do have that one turn where the Flame Orb has to activate. So one turn does a bit less damage, but Headlong Rush and Facade are 2 strong, powerful moves. Headlong Rush, of course, being a 120 base power move, which absolutely can decimate Pokemon left and right as well. A lot of times you see Ursaluna having Earthquake just next to Cresselia, but this time around, of course, the only real resist to that would be that Tornadus, or maybe Armarouge when it liked White Guard. So you're sure not to be hit by any Earthquakes. Game 3, Nick Holmer versus Lennert from Overloop. Let's see. Tornadus and Fluttermane, it is the same lead from Nick this time around, as indeed Armarouge is the lead of choice here. Not really a bad choice either for Lennert, as indeed he is able to redirect. We saw Moonblast do quite a bit of damage, but not KO. But then again, Terra Fairy is always an option to go for, where it is a bit harder to decide what to do. Tornadus with the spread move as well could potentially Blink Storm plus a Moonblast could pose a threat to this Indeedee and this Armarouge. So let's see what these players decide to do right now, as it is not really that bad because you still have Heat. Heatran in the back is just unfortunate though, because it is able to wall out these two Pokemon so well, as we have the Terra activation, meaning no Terra other activation on Nick's side except for this one. This is Terra Fairy. This is Terra Fairy. Moonblast into Indeedee. I'm sure of it. I've said it. I'm not taking my words back. I believe it. Indeedee is going for the follow me, making sure that this Armarouge is not hurt as much as it could be. Bleak Wind Storm into both these Pokemon, doing quite a bit of damage there, as no speed drops. Moonblast, Terra Fairy boosted as well. Specs, and that will definitely kill this Indeedee. So no helping hand option, from this Indeedee. But this does invite a new Pokemon into the fray, and Armarouge was able to put up the Trick Room. Can now go for Expanding Force, quite powerful as well, as now you have Ursaluna or the potential of Urshifu as well. Ursaluna now, of course, being able to go for a Facade, for example, onto the Fluttermane, not dropping its stats or Facade onto the Tornadus. Expanding Force will be able to hit either of these Pokemon really hard. But of course, a Terra Fairy Choice Specs Fluttermane is quite scary. So maybe considering like the options that are in the back, you have to still be afraid of this, as this can be kept for later as well. A switch out, or even just raw staying in and just Moonblasting yet again, because Fluttermane does have the special defense of gods at whopping 135. As the Fluttermane is switching out, meaning some other thing is switching in, this will most likely be the Heatran. Heatran switching in, it is, of course, has that option with the Facade, will be hitting the Tornadus, so breaking its Focus Sash, Expanding Force. Lennert calling this correctly as well. Tornadus going down, Heatran not getting all that much damage. No Tailwind setup from Nick's side either, so potentially a lot of Pokemon can do some things in the back. Ursaluna now being able to enjoy its Flame Orb to its fullest as well, being able to Headlong Rush whatever's in that slot to the left as well. And now Fluttermane being able to be switched in. So now you have to decide what you're gonna do. You can just go for a Headlong Rush here, in all honesty, and just kill whatever is in front of you. You have to decide really. Expanding Force can do quite a bit, but how much can it do? As the Terra activates from Lennert's side, he does go for the Armarouge with the Terra Grass right now, being able to resist any sort of move, like for example the I forgot the word. Thinking Earth Power, that's the word. Headlong Rush into the Heatran is gonna be a whopping KO right now, but now not able to resist anything that this Fluttermane might be shooting at it. So maybe this Terra might have been missing, or a defensive tactic for the Shadow Ball, as the Expanding Force is coming in. It is single target onto this Fluttermane. Is it enough for the KO? It is enough. It's a critical hit as well, and that means there's only one Pokemon left on Nick's side. Both players shook hands already. Nick already seeing the light of day. It is Armarouge Indeedee with Ursaluna that somehow is doing again super well in a torn Urshifu landscape. Urshifu coming back in with the Terra Grass right now, really being able to capitalize as well. Facade, well, there's only one Pokemon that the Urshifu can focus down on, and both of these Pokemon can just try and attack every turn again. As Lennert also has one more Pokemon in the back, meaning Lennert will move on to top 4 most likely. Unless I believe in... Well, you know what? No. Let's believe in this Urshifu. This Urshifu can do. This Ursaluna will not KO with the Facade. I don't believe it. Urshifu can KO the Armarouge with a... Well, Rapid Strike. I just want to believe Double Protect. Well, that could work. That works, honestly. That's not bad. Facade. Was it still a turn of Trick Room? I think there was still a turn of Trick Room. Yep, that was the last turn of Trick Room, so the Double Protect was very much needed. Expanding Force not working well, and the Psychic Terrain should be over as well, meaning this means that, of course, it will do a little bit less damage with this Expanding Force. Weirdness disappeared, and now with 3 Pokemon still left versus 1, but it's a Urshifu. Who is scary to go up against? So what is your position as the Urshifu is going for the Surging Strike? So let's see if the single target Expanding Force is enough to kill this Urshifu. It is going to be super effective still. It is still Live Orb Armarouge. Let's take a look if this is some super kind of bear, as Expanding Force is coming out into this Urshifu, and it is enough, meaning that Lennert from Overloop has won and is moving on to your top 4, even raising his hand a bit, and he's very happy. No, shaking no, but he has to believe that he's done it. He's played very well, and I'm very happy to see it as well. So, we'll be back soon with our top 4. We'll be right back. Stay in place.